Hi, welcome back to Live and Breathe Horses at Centro Equestre La Luz. So today we're going on with our words of wisdom and the classical principles of the art of training horses with Master Nuno Oliveira. Today we're going to talk about the chapter about lightness in the rider's legs. And it's quite a short chapter, and I mean his words of wisdom are such that I'm not going to even try and summarise it. Better just to give you it direct from the master's mouth. So, one always speaks about lightness in the rider's hands, but one forgets to speak about the lightness of the action of the rider's legs. If the legs act through pressure, what happens? At first, the rider, through this pressure, contracts the muscles of his thighs, contracts his back, and finally the remainder of the body will also become stiff. Secondly, you must not forget that the horse breathes. And when the legs are fixed, the horse's breathing becomes constricted. So there's the number one argument for not pressing all the time with the legs. You must also not forget that most times one does not have a correct contact of the hand because the hand receives the faults of the legs. So we need light legs to have light hands. The legs of the riders must remain near the horse's sides but freely relaxed, being able to give gentle touches with the high part of the calf of the leg down as far as the spur by the relaxing of the lower part of the ankle. It's important also that the rider knows whether or not his spurs are in contact with the horse. Very important. Excuse me. And of course, when he talks about spurs, I mean, they're being used as the most delicate thing because it's, you know, you can touch with something much smaller than the leg, so you can really give very soft, delicate strokes or tiny vibrations, you know. We're not talking about using spurs as many people think it's a cruel thing, you know, and when they're used like this, it's absolutely the opposite, you know, it's extreme tact and delicacy. For riders with short legs, riding horses with fairly deep in the area of the girth, I advise them to wear their spurs lower on their boots. He doesn't say anything about what to do if your legs are too long like mine. One must develop the faculty to have the awareness through the relaxation of the legs to be able to give the touches of the legs, whether they be the lighter or the stronger or rapid electric touches. Allow the legs to touch and then relax without displacing the leg and as quickly as possible. So the leg's just hanging down loose, you know, and it's that thing of getting the rhythm and the timing with the horse to touch and relax with the leg while it just hangs in the same position. Learn also to leave the legs in certain cases in contact but completely relaxed, really feeling the sides of the horse. To round your legs in order to be able to use the spur without the leg. It's all these subtle aids which allow the rider who knows them to ride his horse more easily than the one who uses his legs badly. The latter leads the horse finally to disorder and are incapable of making the laziest of horses alert. The rider who can use his legs correctly can ride any sort of horse. And it's funny because we always give so much more importance to the hands, you know. To know how to touch at the precise moment when the diagonal of a particular leg comes to the ground. To be able to give an action at this moment when the new diagonal or new leg or increase of suspension is required is indispensable. To know finally, but here is the case of difficulty of execution, only riders with a perfect seat and very relaxed with a perfect mastering of a chord of the legs and hands can attempt it, to give the lesson with the spur in a light but staccato movement, which refine, make the horses more round and brilliant and appear to float. So yeah, that's a funny concept if you've never seen that you think using the spur can make the horse appear to float. But I think the main thing to take away from this chapter is really this thing about the importance of the use of the legs and the lightness and softness of the legs, and how if we contract the legs we block our own bodies and our horse to the point of not allowing him to breathe. So thank you very much for being with us today, as well, me and my book, and I look forward to see you next time. Keep tuning into the light.